The goals.
Scores! Oh, what a beautiful goal!
The assists.
Score!
Penalty kills. And power play.
Abdelkader in deep.
This is the site of a Michigan kid living out a lifelong dream. The story of how he got there is next on Wingspan. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wingspan. I'm Mickey York. It's a 197-mile journey from Muskegon, Michigan to downtown Detroit. About a 3-hour drive, but for Red Wings forward Justin Abdelkader, his trip from the West Michigan city he calls home to Joe Louis Arena took much longer. About 20 years of hockey and hard work, all while staying true to his Michigan roots. Coming up in the show, we take a look at how Abdelkader brings a hard-working, blue-collar attitude to the NHL, grinding from fourth-line role player to big-time starter. Young hockey players all over the world dream about taking the ice with their favorite NHL team, but only a select few see that dream come true. Abdelkader learned that it's hard work to realize that dream. While Justin looks best in red today, the former Michigan State Spartan still bleeds green and white. We'll hear about his time in East Lansing, including a championship-winning goal. But first, before Michigan State, there was Muskrat Lake. Let's head north of Muskegon to a little marsh surrounded by cattails where a 4-year-old kid would take his first steps toward becoming a Red Wing.
It was one of those winters that we didn't have as much snow, but it was cold. And the ice was perfect. And a good friend of mine had 2 boys playing. He taught school with us, and he had his kids playing travel hockey a few years in advance. And he said, well, maybe Justin would be interested in our daughter Jamie to come out and skate. And we went out there, and the ice was perfect, and just putting the gloves on and finding sticks and finding helmets from friends, and it was just a special day.
But that was kind of my first time skating was out there at Muskrat Lake, and I remember just getting out there and didn't get around the ice that good at the time, but just being outdoors, being able to skate, it was just kind of falling in love with the game there, just being able to play outside and be outside and enjoy your sport. Stick, gloves, skates, and kind of hand-me-downs and started playing there, and just really enjoyed the game and kind of want to take it a step further, and started playing out here at the LC.
LC Walker Ice Arena in downtown Muskegon is just a few short miles from Lake Michigan. It's here in this historic arena where Justin would begin his hockey career, including the first of many Abdelkader goals.
20 years ago, Justin's 26 now, and it's like it was yesterday. I was coaching on the bench, and it's typical Justin goal now, rebound out front, and he put it in, and I believe he was a kindergartner at that time, and it was exciting. Exciting for everybody, I'm sure for him especially.
But success doesn't come without hard work, and it was clear from an early age that Justin had something driving him toward greatness.
Justin obviously was a very competitive person even at that age, and he wanted to play, and he wanted to play better than everyone else. So those competitive juices were even flowing when he was a little kid, first, second, third grade.
A lot of times we'd play Saturday, Sunday morning, 6 a.m., and Dad would come in the room, 5:15, 5:30, whatever it was, and I'd be excited and jump out of bed and be ready to go in 5 minutes, and bag would be packed, and off we'd go to the rink.
So for him, getting up was easy. For the parents, not so much. But we said, Justin's time for hockey, and he'd just jump out of bed. And they would skate, they'd hang out here at the rink. Like we'd have practice from 6 to 7, and sometimes we wouldn't leave till 9 or 10, and then go to breakfast, and then they'd go to their buddy's house who had the ice, and they'd skate even more.
His parents' dedication to the sport he loved didn't go unnoticed by a young Abdelkader, and the lessons he learned all those years ago in Muskegon are still with him today.
Growing up, with my dad, my mom, but especially my dad, just having to go out each and every day and work hard, and it always let me know if I took a game off, or if I was floating the game or not moving my legs. He would always let me know. So it was just it was always, you know, important to have someone that's watched you each and every game and knows your game and knows how you can play and know what kind of level you can play at, and just bring it each day in practice and trying to make your teammates better. You know, being the top of your game, you know, as much as you can, game in, game out, is you know, they strive to make that, you know, important for me, and that's what, you know, I kind of took, and I knew it was important just to go out and to bring my game and to work hard each and every day.
Those lessons from his parents, as well as Justin's own talent and drive, would lead Joe Abdelkader to recognize something special within his son, even in those early days.
It's kind of crazy to think this. Most people will think in first grade, but he started in kindergarten, and the following year in first grade, he scored like 40 goals, even though it was a rec program, but he just seemed to be just a step above everybody else, even at that age.
That competitive fire still burns bright to this day, an attitude that would take Justin all the way from Muskrat Lake to the banks of the Detroit River.
Gave it to Abdelkader. Scores!
What a shot.
Far down, Abdelkader.
Coming to Michigan State, it was kind of like coming home. You know, Michigan State was only about an hour and a half from my hometown. I had some friends that went there, and that's where I really matured, you know, as a player, and knew some of the guys that played there. And so it felt like I was coming home. I was excited.
Justin Abdelkader with a redirect from the top of the crease. 5-1.
Growing up in West Michigan, Justin Abdelkader faced an uphill battle to get noticed in the hockey world, and the young forward knows that he didn't make it to the NHL all on his own.
You know, hockey's a big commitment travel-wise, and you know, we traveled all over the state, and you know, and into Canada quite a number of times, and you know, did the select festivals in Minnesota and St. Cloud. You know, it wasn't just because of my skill or my effort that got me here. There was, you know, it was my parents and coaching.
Even in high school, the Abdelkaders got used to traveling all over the state. But playing high school hockey also led to Justin's first big break, the prestigious Mr. Hockey Award.
For me, becoming Mr. Hockey, you know, from West Michigan, I think I was one of the first ones from West Michigan. Just, you know, all the guys in Detroit, most of the Detroit coaches are voting. You don't really see a lot of them vote for someone on the West Side. So I was proud of that. For me, being from the West Side of the state, you know, we didn't have, you know, any elite AAA teams over there. So, you know, I played high school hockey for 2 years, had a really good coach there. And then, you know, probably the biggest step for me was going from high school to playing in the juniors, Junior A and USHL for Cedar Rapids.
Juniors would prove a new challenge for Abdelkader, but the high school senior approached the change with the same tenacity that had gotten him there.
I had a really good junior year at my high school, won Mr. Hockey, and then, you know, felt like I was ready to move on and ready for the next step. And, you know, went to Cedar Rapids and didn't know anyone. It was, you know, not only hockey-wise, it was a big year, but just socially, you know, not knowing anyone, going into a new environment, and, you know, living with a housing family. It was a tough year, probably the toughest year out of any of them. You know, I had a good support staff with my housing family, and my coach was really good. And so I just, you know, went over there and with the mindset I'm gonna work hard, and like I said, try to be the hardest worker on the team and do what I can.
Success in Cedar Rapids, his only year away from Michigan, led to a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, a full scholarship to one of the best collegiate hockey programs in the country.
Well, it's funny, his grandfather went to Michigan State, I went to Michigan State, and we were at a hockey tournament when he was offered the scholarship. Actually, the coach came up to Cheryl and I, and this is kind of awful, but when he offered the scholarship, he said, we're going to offer Justin a full ride, and I think I accepted the scholarship before he accepted it. He grew up being a Spartan, so I'm sure he wouldn't have had it any other way.
Had a really good year, and they had a spot open up at Michigan State, so I went in as a true freshman. And you know, coming to Michigan State, it was kind of like coming home, because, you know, I was in Cedar Rapids, I was 6 hours away, and you know, Michigan State was only about an hour and a half from my hometown. I had some friends that went there, and you know, obviously family, it was easier for them to travel there and watch me. So it felt like I was coming home. I was excited. That's where I really matured, you know, as a player. And you know, my body, I felt like I got a lot stronger. You know, even in college, you don't play as many games as maybe you would in the major junior route, but at the same time, you're practicing, you're working out. You know, I felt like I got a lot stronger. You know, off the ice, we had a good strength and conditioning coach, and that was key. You know, just you know, dedicating myself, you know, off the ice, and then, you know, on the ice it was, you know, coming as an 18-year-old playing against some 23, 24, 25-year-olds, so playing against grown men. You know, that was an adjustment, but you know, I just kept pushing myself and trying to get better, and that was that.
Justin certainly matured as a Spartan, and in 2007 scored the winning goal in the national championship game.
24 seconds to go in regulation. Kennedy looking, center shot, and score! They score!
And a most outstanding player honor in the Frozen Four tournament.
You come in and you're the underdog, and all of a sudden we're down 1-0 to Boston College, and you're thinking, oh, it's going to be another second-place finish. And for him to score the goal with 18 seconds to go, and you look up and you go, wow, we're going to be national champs. Words can't describe it.
And while he may have moved on from the ice at Munn, Justin still hasn't lost sight of what college is truly about, an education. While the NHL takes up most of his time right now, the son of a teacher still plans on someday graduating as a Spartan.
For me, college was an easy choice. You know, I know they talk about major, junior college, you know, back and forth, and, you know, sometimes it's not right for everyone. College isn't the right route for everyone, or maybe juniors isn't the right route but for me personally, I know that going to school, you know, I had something to fall back on, because hockey's only going to be so long, and you don't know if you're going to go pro. You don't know. Like when I was playing at Michigan State, I didn't know if I was going to play for the Detroit Red Wings. I was drafted, but it didn't mean I was going to, you know, I was going to be there. So my mentality was just to get better each day and dedicate myself on and off the ice, and also at the same time, you know, getting education was really important. Just, you know, happy I got you know, I went to school, and, you know, I'm really close, 3 classes away from getting my degree after leaving a year early from Michigan State, and you know, that'll be important. That's one thing I promised my mom when I left early, that I would get that degree. So still working away at it, and really close. Once you walk, you have that diploma in your hand. You know, a lot of things come to your head, and, you know, all the time and commitment, and, you know, doing the homework on the road and the study tables we had as freshmen, you know, the commitment it took to, you know, to get an education, and at the same time, you know, play collegiate sport. You know, it was an accomplishment and something that I'll be proud of one day. When you're in elementary school and a question will pop up, what do you want to do when you grow up? And obviously the answer was play for the Detroit Red Wings and play in the NHL.
Like most kids growing up in Michigan, Justin Abdelkader would often imagine himself as one of Hockey Town's heroes when he took the ice with friends.
Steve Yzerman quite a bit, Sergei Fedorov a little bit, you know, just all the guys. You know, I just looked up to, you know, all those guys, Draper, Malpe, you know, and Ozzy was here.
Little did Abdelkader know that he'd one day join those ranks and fulfill a Michigan kid's childhood dream.
When you're in elementary school and you'd write on the piece of paper, go through all the questions, and a question would pop up, what do you want to do when you grow up? And obviously the answer was play for the Detroit Red Wings and play in the NHL. And you know, as a kid, you think it's, you know, you can make that dream come true, but you don't realize how hard it really is to make it happen. So, you know, for me growing up, I just, you know, obviously it was a dream to play for the Red Wings and to play in the NHL, and just kind of worked away at it, and, you know, stars kind of aligned and things fell in the right place.
Goes back to your question, do you think college was the goal? And that's all we thought about was college. And when he was in Cedar Rapids, you started noticing all the NHL scouts, and then all of a sudden they would come up to us, Cheryl and myself, and ask questions. And then you started thinking, well, there's a chance that he may get drafted. But Detroit was never in the picture. It was all New Jersey and Washington, Edmonton, LA, all these other teams. And Detroit was never even our thoughts. They went through the first round, and we waited a little bit longer, and then all of a sudden he got the call, and he was on the phone with his advisor, and his advisor said Detroit Red Wings, and he said Red Wings, and all of a sudden I heard him say Red Wings, and I said Red Wings, and then everybody in the bar said Red Wings, and it was pretty cool.
It's crazy. I still, you know, I never take it for granted. It's something that's really special, and you know, being from Michigan and always growing up a Detroit Red Wings fan, and never forget the first time I stepped on the ice, you know, with the Detroit Red Wings sweater. It was surreal. It was like, is this really happening? And kind of had to pinch myself and, you know, just kind of keep refocusing, because it was, you know, for me, it was a dream come true.
You know, for us, it's obviously, you pinch yourself every day, you know, he puts a jersey on and you see him come out representing a team in your own state that, you know, everybody backs. But I think more so just for us, it's just a small community here in Muskegon. You know, Muskegon's been a city that's gone through a lot with loss of jobs, and there's nothing to really grab onto. And here's a young man that came from a town, a hard-working town, and for him to succeed, I think he just makes our community so proud.
The Red Wings saw Abdelkader as a workhorse, as a player not afraid to put in the extreme effort demanded of the storied franchise. It's an attitude tied to his home state. If you want something, you have to work for it.
It's just a lot of work, and kids just got to realize that, you know, whatever their dreams are, their goals are, you know, hard work's got to be, you know, that's the most important aspect. And, you know, you just got to, there's going to be your ups and downs, but, you know, you just got to keep your head forward. You see a lot of good players that come out of Michigan, whether they play in the NHL, the American League, college hockey, juniors, whatever it is. There's a lot of good players. I don't know, I would just say, for the most part, just a lot of hardworking, blue-collar type players that, you know, that work hard, that, you know, bring it every day, and that's kind of what I strive, you know, when I go out and play, is just to be a player that can be an everyday type player that can bring it in and out, whether it's practice or game days.
Abdelkader played his first games as a Red Wing in 2008 and got to hoist the Stanley Cup when Detroit defeated the Pittsburgh Penguins that spring. The following year, Abdelkader would score his first NHL points again, helping the Wings in the playoffs. An assist in the Western Finals against the Ducks came first, before his first goal in the Stanley Cup Finals against the Penguins. He didn't have to wait long for goal number 2, becoming the first rookie to score in back-to-back Finals games since Dino Ciccarelli in 1981.
You know, it's still that excitement, still that competitive drive that drives me each and every day, you know, to be better, to get better. You know, it's just that, that competition that I thrive on, that I love.
When Justin Abdelkader joined the Red Wings full-time in 2010, he took his hard-working attitude to the boards and the front of the net, following in a long tradition of tough Red Wing grinders. But Abdelkader was destined to be more than a role player, and through his time in Detroit, he's worked his way up the ladder to become a key component in the Wings' offense, proving time and time again why head coach Mike Babcock has Abdelkader on his top line. But beyond the highlights, Abdelkader remains one thing, that Michigan kid living a dream, obtained through hard work and dedication.
You know, there's still that excitement, still that competitive drive that drives me each and every day, you know, to be better, to get better. You know, it's just that, that competition that I thrive on, that I love. Going to the rink, you know, with my teammates, some of my best friends, and playing for them, and you know, playing for the city, playing for the state. It's just, it's really special, and to make it at this level, the NHL level, you know, something I dreamed of as a kid has been a dream come true for me.
Abdelkader with it again. He's been really flying tonight.
Well, home's definitely still in Muskegon, but you know, just along the way, like Michigan State and East Lansing is almost like a second home for me. And you know, now being in Detroit for as long as I have, it's you know, can consider that another second home for me. It's funny, across the 96, you know, freeway, I've kind of made my stops along the way, and just being able to play most of my career here, except 1 year in Michigan, has been pretty unique, and I don't think you see that, you know, really at all. And for me to, you know, be able to, you know, make my stops, start in Muskegon, Grand Rapids, East Lansing, and then Detroit, it's been crazy. It's been really fortunate, really lucky, and definitely, you know, can't take it for granted, because it's something that you know, you never know where you're going to be the next day, but I enjoy it each and every day, and you know, glad I can bring, you know, enjoyment out of all the fans here.
Abdelkader gets to the puck along with Helm, scores! Oh, what a beautiful goal!
In a sport as international as hockey, Red Wing fans are used to adopting players from all corners of the globe, Russians, Swedes, Slovaks, and Canadians. But it's always special when someone who's one of us, a humble, hardworking, hometown hero made in Michigan, joins the roster and does all of us proud. From all of us at Fox Sports Detroit, I'm Mickey York. Thanks for watching.